Hi, this is Dale Caffey with more of what's making news at Waco ISD. The C-SPAN bus recently visited Waco High School as part of its nationwide tour. C-SPAN is an acronym that stands for Cable Satellite Public Affairs Network. It's the channel on your cable service that brings you live coverage of your government in action in Washington, D.C. The C-SPAN bus is an extension of the cable TV service with a focus on educating and urging today's high school and college students to become active in their local, state, and national public affairs. Come with us as we step inside the C-SPAN bus to see what's happening.
Why would your economics class have the opportunity to come aboard the C-SPAN bus? Government, right? Economics. What are you studying these days in economics? GDP, supply and demand, right? C-SPAN, we focus on the government. And the government at what level? Local, state, federal government. So what city are we based in? Washington, D.C. So what are the three branches of the federal government?
Judicial, executive, and legislative.
You'll see all of those on C-SPAN. And as I was showing you these photos up here, when you saw this, you're like, oh, I think I saw C-SPAN. Flick by, might have watched it a little. But this is what most people associate with C-SPAN. They see the House and Senate floor debate. And as I was saying, we cover it gavel to gavel, live gavel to gavel. So what does that mean?
We don't cut it, we don't edit it.
Beautiful. We don't cut it, we don't edit. Our goal, we are a public service on behalf of the cable industry. So back in 1979 when C-SPAN was started, it was started by the cable industry. So if you have Time Warner Cable or DirecTV or Dish, every time you send in a bill, we get a small portion of that to fund C-SPAN. What do you think most people get our funding from? What seems like the logical choice? The government, right? Hey, we're showing the government. But if you knew we accepted money from the government, what might you think about our networks? Yeah, regardless of who's in control, you might seem slanted. So C-SPAN, we're very conscious of what we provide. We provide it in a non-biased, non-partisan way, right? Don't take sides. We show the entire thing. Why do we do that? Why do we show the entire thing?
To show that you're impartial.
Impartial. But what does it allow you to do as a viewer and listener?
We can take the actual information and choose what to believe on our own.
Right. Primary source. You can watch the whole thing. And this bus, you'll have a couple minutes to peruse it. But this bus demonstrates C-SPAN. We're just not television anymore. You can go we have over 20 websites. You can watch our programming online. We use Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, YouTube to interact and engage with our audiences. We have an app for mobile devices. So these days, people consume their information in many different ways. Well, C-SPAN's evolving with those times. So it's just not, oh man, I don't have 3 hours to watch this whole thing. But you can go here, search it, watch pieces of it, and that's the beauty of C-SPAN. So what are some Texas politicians that might have been on C-SPAN recently that you might have heard about? Not Bill Flores, but what about a senator? You have 2 senators from the state of Texas. Senator Cruz? Does anyone know what he...
Terry Crews.
Ted Cruz? Does anyone know what he did a couple weeks ago? He had you remember he had like a pseudo filibuster where he spoke for 21 hours? Straight on C-SPAN too, on the Senate floor. How much of that did you see on C-SPAN? Yeah, you got the answer, all of it. So, we don't just focus on people in D.C. We also focus on governors, people at the state level as well. But mainly our stuff is focused at the federal level. But C-SPAN has this great resource called the Video Library. And what it is all of our programming going back to 1987. So over all of it. So 200,000 hours and growing on a daily basis. So if you have a paper on, let's say, Thomas Jefferson, or comparative politics, where you're comparing, early government versus our government now, or parliament versus what we do here, whatever the topic is, I encourage you to go to this site, Video Library, type in the keyword search, and the beauty of this is you can watch it and learn that way. And it's like you said, it's a primary source, right? We put our camera up, let it roll, so you can, you have to cite it properly, and each of the clips will click Senate morning. Okay, government, housing, finance. We'll click on this. there's a transcript with the clips. So let's say you research economics, right? And you find some programming on economics. You want to learn about what did they address GDP, gross domestic?
Yeah, we're doing that right now.
Oh, awesome. So what you can do is in here we have a transcript associated with the video. So you can type in GDP or gross domestic product, and it will default to the spot in the program so you can watch it. So instead of watching it, you don't have time to watch a 3-hour hearing, right? So, right, you're busy. You're learning, you're busy studying, doing papers, but you can default to that language and watch it in the video library site. And if you find a clip that you like, C-SPAN, right? You can clip it, share it with your friends. Hey, I found this on C-SPAN. Or hey, I'm gonna put this in my paper, cite it. And it's all free of charge. This stuff is all free, right?
Hi, what's your name and what grade are you in here at Waco High School?
I'm Mariana. I'm a senior here.
Great. Tell me about your impressions of the C-SPAN bus making a stop here today at Waco High.
I thought it was really impressive because there's not much attention out here, really, and I thought it was pretty cool.
Tell me something maybe you've learned that you didn't know before about public affairs in the United States.
I don't know that it was all live and without like edits and stuff like that. Yeah.
Have you ever watched C-SPAN at home?
No, not really.
It's coverage of the legislature in action. Is this something that maybe after you looked at this bus today that you might pay more attention to?
Yeah, maybe. I'll pay attention to more details.
Very good. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Hi, what's your name and your grade here at Waco High?
My name is Cecilia Campos, and I'm a senior.
Whoa, a senior. Won't be long before you're graduating. Tell me your impressions of this bus today stopping at Waco High.
It's a nice experience. It's connected to what I'm studying, what we're studying in class, which is economics and government. Shortly, it will help me with the AP tests here in May.
Very good, very good. Do you often watch C-SPAN at home on cable?
I watched it only once, and I was like, oh, cool.
So it's the legislature in action, or Congress in action, up at the nation's capital. After looking at what you've seen on this bus, are you going to pay more attention to what's going on in Washington, D.C.?
Most definitely, yes.
Very good. Best of luck on your tests, and tell me how something like this might help you in the classroom.
It will help us through topics that we talk about in the classroom. We can watch little clips about them and get information that we probably might miss during PowerPoints or note-taking.
Very good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, we have two more students from Waco High School. Your name?
I go by Aspen.
Aspen, and what grade are you in?
I'm a senior.
And you?
My name is Anthony, and I'm also a senior.
Okay, a bunch of seniors here today. Tell me about your impression of the C-SPAN bus.
I really like it. I think it's really cool that there's something like this that can go and visit the schools in the nation. We really need it.
Very good. Is this something that might help you in the classroom?
Yes, I think it would, especially with AP Economics.
Okay, I've talked to more students today taking AP Economics. So an experience like this can help you in more ways than one, I guess. How would it help you in economics?
It might help if I had to write a paper or do a report on the government.
Very good. Very good. And you, how will this help you?
I think it really helps. A lot of times in education we get bogged down because we don't see the practical use of what we're learning. And I think something like this helps us see that what we're learning actually has a place in society.
Sure does. Of course, C-SPAN offers coverage of the Congress in action up in Washington, D.C. Have you watched it before?
Not really, no.
Is it something, though, that after looking at what's offered, might you go home and pay more attention to what's going on in the government?
Definitely.
Very good. And same from you?
Yeah, I never really watched it before, but now that I know that it's out there and what I can see on it, I think I definitely watch it, especially if there's an issue that I care about that's going to be talked about in Congress.
Very good. Well, it looks like the host and hostess here in the bus have done their job. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Now aboard the C-SPAN bus with Jennifer Curran. She's a marketing specialist with C-SPAN. And Jennifer, tell me more about the bus and how this came about.
Of course. Well, actually on Friday is the 20th anniversary of the C-SPAN bus. We've had a bus on the road since 1993, and the primary purpose is educational outreach. We visit high schools, middle schools, universities, state capitals, large book festivals to inform the public about C-SPAN. We use the equipment aboard the bus. We've got HD monitors to show our high-def coverage. We have these touchscreen kiosks to browse their websites. And it's really an interactive way for visitors to understand all of the resources that C-SPAN provides.
Now, I've been a cable subscriber for seemingly 30, 40 years, and I've known about C-SPAN, but we're finding that some of the students today really may have surfed by it and never watched it.
Exactly.
Is the point to make them aware of what's offered on C-SPAN and the importance of watching what goes on in our capital?
Yes, to some extent it is. We want students to know that it's available to them. So our goal isn't really to have a bunch of C-SPAN viewers nonstop. Of course, we want them to know about C-SPAN if they've never heard of it before. But it's also for important times. These are seniors, so they're approaching the voting age. As they look to vote in elections, we want them to be informed. C-SPAN's neutral. We're a nonpartisan network. So for us, the emphasis is on showing all sides. And as a future voter, students can really benefit from learning about ways to educate themselves.
Now, a lot of people might not know what C-SPAN stands for. It's Cable Satellite Public Affairs Network,
Yes,
correct?
it is, yes.
How about that?
Yes.
Talk to me about your job. I mean,
Yeah.
you have a very interesting job in that you're on the road quite a bit during the year.
I am. The bus is on the road 10 months a year. So we travel with the bus. I travel about 2 weeks a month and I go all across the country. So we don't have regions. We're in Texas, or at the end of the month I'll be in Florida, Maine, California, all over. And it's a lot of fun. I get to reach out to our local cable partners, Time Warner here in Waco, and work with them. They help us choose the schools that we go to. And then I reach out to the teachers themselves and plan the event. So it's really an all hands-on job. We do all the logistics from parking to media to talking with the students.
And you touched on it there. I was going to ask what brings you to Waco.
Sure.
But of course, Time Warner Cable is a partner in this.
Yes.
A lot of people may not realize this, but this is not a government-funded operation. This
No.
is a cable industry-funded operation.
It's a public service of the cable industry, exactly. So to ensure our neutrality and our nonpartisan stance on subjects, we don't receive any government funding. Government funding could lead to bias or censorship. So in 33 years, we've never received any government funding at all. 34, 1979, bad at math. So yeah, so we do partner with the cable companies in each city that we visit. And here in Waco, as I mentioned, it's Time Warner. And they suggested that we come to Waco High School and then we'll be at McClellan Community College this afternoon.
Very good, very good. Behind you, we have a group of students, about 10 of them, having a session with your counterpart.
Yes.
Talk to me about what he's trying to tell them.
Sure, well, in the more formal presentation we do with high school students behind us on the sofa, we really go through in-depth how to use our online resources. So C-SPAN has a video library. It's over 200,000 hours of C-SPAN footage. And so we demonstrate to the students how they can access that information and search through it in an intuitive way, by keyword, by date, by organization. We also promote Student Camp, which is our video documentary contest for middle school and high school students. So students can create a 5 to 7 minute video of any topic of their choice. We have a theme every year. This year's theme is a message to Congress, so it's very appropriate, you know, with Congress passing laws. Students can choose any topic they want and frame it around why it's important to them that Congress knows about this subject. And then the deadline is January 20th. So right now this fall we're heavily promoting Student Cam, and we show examples of that back in the classroom area.
Have you seen any products just yet?
You know, well, since we announced the theme in August, we have seen a lot of teachers assigning it as a classroom project. So we've gotten a few submissions in, but the influx really comes in the end of December, early January, and then right before the deadline we get most of our submissions.
Might these final products by students be online and on C-SPAN TV coverage, or how will the public be able to see some of those entries?
Of course, yes. Well, all of our past winners and the winners in 2014 will be posted on studentcam.org. So we encourage students to go and watch other winning videos to get a sense of what we're looking for and what key attributes to the video. It doesn't have to be a Hollywood production. but we want the quality of their message to really come through in that video. And then for the winners, we do air a number of their videos for the first, second prize winners on C-SPAN in the morning before our morning program. So students will be aired on a national television network if they win.
Good
And there
deal.
are cash prizes,
Yeah.
so that's an added
That's even better.
incentive. Sure.
How long have you been at this?
I have been working with C-SPAN now almost 5 years. So I started in 2009, and in March it'll be 5 years.
Have you been to all 50 states?
You know, I have about 6 left,
Okay.
Alaska being one of them.
Okay.
But yeah,
Well, that's a long way
almost.
for this bus to travel.
It
And
is.
plus, I guess the bus would have a little trouble getting to Hawaii.
Yeah,
So-
well, since the bus has been on the road in 20 years, we have visited all 50 states with the bus. And for Hawaii, we put it on a ship. We sort of wrapped it up, and
Oh, okay.
it wasn't this actual bus, but a
Right.
former incarnation of the bus. So
That's great.
yeah.
Well, Jennifer Kern, thank you so
Thank
much
you
for
so
being
much.
here today.
Thank you for having
We enjoyed
us.
having you here, the C-SPAN bus here at Waco High School, where there are learners today and leaders tomorrow.